look at this show today like one big birthday party. No matter when your birthday is, we're going to learn a lot about that day we're born on and hopefully learn a lot about us too. If you're into astrology, looking in the stars, want to know the future, all that good stuff, tune in for today's show. Because today we're talking with some of the most amazing people in the world of astrology, the world of numerology, and we're even going to talk to some personologists. Anybody ever heard of a personologist? New to me too. All these folks are going to tell us everything in the world that we want to know, and maybe a few things that we don't want to know. But first, let's meet Gary Goldschneider. He is author of The Secret Language of Birthdays. I also want you to meet Sylvia Friedman, who is author of The Stars in Your Family. Welcome, everybody. Gary, I know because I hit you up backstage. I know that there are folks who are always coming up to you going, tell me about me, tell me about me. Don't you get sick of that?
You get used to it.
You get used to it. It's your line of business.
Right.
What do people want to know most of all?
Well, they're always interested about what they're like and then what their romance is going to be like. Or if they're with the right person.
Uh-huh.
And they usually choose the wrong person.
Oh, God. How do you tell people that, though? When you see
you
a
have
couple
to be honest.
Yeah, when you see that it may not work, I mean, how do you break that to them?
Well, I keep telling them that either they're going to have to work on it for a long time or leave early.
Oh, gosh. Well, there's a diplomat for you. What about you, Gary? Tell us a bit about what you do. You have that book there sitting.
Yeah, well, this is The Secret Language of Birthdays, and it's a new book that's just come out. And what we try to do is take sun sign astrology one step further. In other words, we talk about the signs, we talk about the seasons that you're born in, we talk about the week that you're born in, because every week has a name now. And then finally, we talk about the day you're born on, and every day of the year now has a name.
Every day of the year. Okay, let me throw out my birthday. July 12th.
July 12th is the day of the persuasive presence. And what we try to do is look at the people. She's not a persuasive presence, right?
No.
Yeah, really. Anyway, we try to take the famous people born on that day, like Henry David Thoreau, like Julius Caesar, all these people, and then we try to find, you know how different people are? Like they're maybe 95% different. I hope they're different. But in one area, they overlap. And I try to find what they all have in common when they're born on one day. And what I come up with on your day is they're very persuasive and they got that presence. They're there. You can't ignore them. They won't go away. Like measles, you know?
Watch the Rolonda Show! How do you, I mean, do what the two of you do, you're very similar in what your crafts are?
All astrologers are similar. We're all brothers and sisters engaged in the same thing, but some of us emphasize one aspect and some of us emphasize another. Would you say?
No.
No. See?
I think
we
ultimately that people, it's like if you go to a therapist, you go to a doctor, you go to anyone that you feel comfortable with, ultimately you have to work through who you are. And so, yes, we are all part of a certain science, but we all interpret it differently.
Right on.
What do you say?
I just want to get right to it.
Okay, go right there.
My birthday is June 1st, 1977.
You were born on the day of the popular eye. That's Marilyn Monroe's birthday. Did you know she was born on that day?
I did not know.
Go,
but
girl.
by popular eye, I mean by popular
I got Julius Caesar.
If I'm going to go shopping for clothes, I want you to come with me because you're going to have that eye to be able to look at styles and be able to look at different kinds of things that are out there and really know what's going on. You're with it. You're up to date.
Tell me about the romance, you know?
Oh, the romance.
That's what you wanted to get right to.
There is a certain amount of instability on that day, you know? There's a certain amount of nervousness,
Her girlfriend said that's right. What do you agree with that, huh?
A certain amount of sexual tension on that day, you know? And hey, I thought sexual tension made the world go round. I mean, where would any of us be without that? But what I mean is, sometimes in a relationship, you can be a little bit unstable, a little bit nervous, and you really got to work on getting that thing together.
Well, is there somebody coming or what, you know?
Well, that I don't know. You have to tell me.
He's not a psychic. He can only tell you where you are. Is there someone coming?
Well, I hope so.
It's in the stars. Let me ask you this. My parents happened to get married on June 1st. That was a birth to their marriage. So do you ever look at dates other than birth dates? Do you look at anniversary dates or dates when...
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, my son, who edited this book, is tempted to think that we're not just discussing a certain kind of person on a certain day, but actually the day itself may carry that energy. Like the 7th of December obviously means something to a lot of people, but it's also Tom Waits' birthday. I call it the day of idiosyncrasy because they're so different from everybody else, but maybe it's the energy of the day. I don't know.
Wow. We've got, I know that you have a question, a lot more people. I know there's some newlyweds in here. There's some folks who are just starting relationships and want to know about that other half. What else do the stars hold, we wonder? Well, we're going to find out a lot more when we come back. Don't miss us. Tonight. We're celebrating every day of the year. Somebody's born on every day of the year. Is there one day that is the prime birthday of the year? If you want to have the greatest life in the world, be born on this day. What day is that?
I think for each person, your
birthday, right? Okay, what?
For each person, it's their own birthday.
Their own birthday.
I think we're all special. We all have our own stuff that's very special.
I agree with that.
I
agree with that. So when you're flipping through and you're hearing all these great things that you're interpreting about your birthday, all of those things, even the weaknesses that they say that we all have, we should interpret those how?
Well, I don't view anything as a weakness. I view as something that is not as strong as something else. If you have a certain trait and that is very powerful within you, you have to develop that. And what is weak in you or what is not as strong, you have to look at that and work through that so that you can make it positive. I think the attitude is to be positive, because ultimately the minute you feel weak, you don't feel as though you can make it happen. And therefore you have to look at those weaknesses. I mean, if you're real positive and then you go forward and you say, hey, I can make it happen and I'm going to work through my insecurities. Because see, that's what my book says. I talk about the insecurities of people. If parents would understand the insecurities of their kids before they have to give them a bottle and diaper them, I mean, it isn't before, but it's through their life. If you know your child is very sensitive, don't be gruff, don't be harsh, don't attack them.
So
understand who they are.
You're saying a little reading up on a little astrology might help you be a better parent?
I think so. I have felt that throughout my work with clients that it all comes back to mom and dad, that all their need for approval and need to please comes back to mom and dad, and the attacks and the criticisms and the judgments.
We find that a lot on our talk show.
Yes, I bet. I bet.
What do you say, young lady?
My birthday is February 19th, 1963.
You have another February 19th up there? No, you just like to clap, right? Not your godson. Okay, let's find out something about February.
Well, you're
Gary's
very
got his book
independent,
out.
and you're self-reliant, and you're the kind of person that sometimes sacrifices her own needs for the sake of other people.
Yes, very much.
And so you have to learn to say, what about me? Because you're a very bright woman and you have a tendency to consider other people's needs. So if you can just consider your own and go forward and understand your talents and your traits and let people give to you. If you don't know how to receive, you never know whether you're worthy and you never know whether you deserve.
Okay,
so you have to learn that.
Thank you.
Gary, what did you find in that big book of yours?
Well, the cusp that she's born on, I call the cusp of sensitivity. That's between the signs of Aquarius and Pisces. And often people who are born on that day, or really around that time, are very sensitive as children. You know, you criticize them, they feel it very deeply. And other kids can even make fun of them. It can go that far. So what they have to do is build a little bit of a wall around themselves to protect themselves from that thing. But they must make sure that the wall isn't so thick that then they get cut off from everything. And I find if you just scratch the surface of these people a little bit, that that sensitivity is still there. But she's an explorer. She's born on the day of the explorer. She's got to get out there and explore. If you're timid, if you're hanging back, you're just going to get frustrated. You really got to go for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I was born on September the 2nd on a Sunday at 3:43 p.m.
Can we get please.
September 2nd?
Huh?
That's September 2nd?
Yeah.
That's the day of the business-like attitude. So that's something that you got to cultivate. You got to really, but you got to keep that wonderful sense of humor that you have too.
Okay.
And
What-
I think that you can't be as hard on yourself as you are. And you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
very
you have to
hard.
learn how to let go of the things you can't do anything about and go to solve the things you can. That's a
does-
real key.
A little serenity never hurt anybody, right?
How does that deal with relationship-wise, with generally with people?
In what way do you mean? You mean who are you best with?
Yeah.
Well, you're primarily a practical person, and you really like to deal with, you have fixed ideas on how you need to do things, and in some ways you can be a little too structured and a little bit too rigid, so you have to release those energies inside of yourself to really formulate the kind of relationship you want.
Okay.
Which meant what? Who should she be hooked up with?
Well, she should be hooked up with a more, that's true. She should be hooked up with someone who is more
Ideals.
practical. And I think not someone who can exasperate you by being too wishy-washy, and you're going to feel insecure about that personality.
Okay.
That answer your question?
Well, kind of. I had like a Leo that I like in mind.
Why didn't you just say a Leo?
This raises.
Wait a minute, there may be hope. Look.
This raises an interesting point.
What?
This raises an interesting point. You talk to most astrologers, they will say because you're a Virgo, you should go with other earth signs, with Capricorn and Taurus. I don't believe that's true. I think any sign can go with any other sign. But in certain ways, depending on the sign, and I find that it's the adjacent signs and the opposite signs that are really the hot relationships. So in your case, Leo on one side and Libra on the other. No astrologer in the world would advocate that, but I would. And I say the opposite sign from you, Pisces, again, would be a very good bet. So Leo, I say right on.
Oh, just pick anybody. It'll work. When we come back, we're going to hear from a celebrity who wants to know what's in the stars for her. And we're also going to meet one of the world's most amazing numerologists. You've probably heard of them, so start getting your calculators out. We're going to plan our lives right after this. Now get it. Now, I practiced it. I'm not going to just say your first name. America and a few other nations. I would like you to meet Mr. and Mrs. DeFabritas. They are a new family, brand new marriage. You had a question that you wanted to throw out, newlyweds.
Sure. I'm curious to know if based on our signs or when we got married, if
Oh, sorry.
if based on our sign or you mentioned about the date that we got married, if you know we have a good long future together or if it's not in the cards.
What's the date?
Well, let's talk. You want to talk about their birthdays or the day they got married?
What do you want? You want us to talk about your birthdays?
Well, he
What
asked
do
the
you- go
question
ahead.
about, he
Yeah,
asked
start
the
with
question
the
about the
birthdays.
day they were
Go ahead.
married.
Okay, start with the birthday. October 26th for myself, and she's September 29th.
Yes.
Scorpion or Libra.
That's a
And
good
don't
thing.
forget it.
Okay.
He's born on the birthday of Hillary Clinton and Francois Mitterrand. They're both born on that day. Organizational cohesion. So, like, could be an organized individual, could be even a control freak as a Scorpio, you know?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
And her birthday, the 29th of September, that's the day of the charged reactor. So that could be a very explosive personality and sometimes a bit unstable. So, like, he's got to control the nuclear reaction like that.
Mr. and Mrs. Shoreham up here.
Actually, yeah, I have a question. What about parenting? What types of parents would we be?
Well, I really think that Mr. Scorpio will be a very serious parent. I think he will I think his expectations and his standards might be a little bit too high. He's got to be careful not to try to control his children. And I think you're going to be very kind and very loving. You have to learn to say what you mean at the time you feel it, instead of harboring your resentments. You got to learn how to say it first, otherwise your anger can get misplaced. But otherwise, you'll be a great parent.
Yeah, you happy now? There you go. There you go. Good life together. Joining us now is a voice that many of us have heard, Lloyd Strayhorn, numerologist to the stars, who's going to give us some celebrity predictions. How do you do numerology? Explain to us what that is and how powerful are numbers to us.
Numerology is a very simple science. I think of all the branches of metaphysical endeavors, that numerology is easy. First of all, the numbers only go from 1 to 9. Even if you go to 10, 1 plus 0 is back to 1. If you go to 11, 1 plus 1 is back to 2. So each number has within it its own personality, its strengths, its weaknesses, its time, its seasons, its days, its years, its months, its ages and years and everything else.
Well, how do you know what number you are? I mean, how do you...
Well, simply, when you said you were July the 12th,
right.
I numerically said, okay, she's a 12 person, 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is ruled by Jupiter. 3 also rules Thursday. You know what I'm saying? 3 also rules the months of March and December, so that tells me there's some interesting developments that generally takes place in your life around about the period of late February, March, late November, December. You see what I'm saying?
It's the renewal time for the talk show.
I also know that each number rules years, so I could tell you that certain years were very important in your life, like back in 1985, for example, also back in 1992, just a couple of years back, and things of that nature, and you can go on with this. It also tells me you're very conscientious, you're workaholic. You know what I'm saying? You take great pride in your name and your reputation, although this isn't all about Rolonda, it's just to give you a little capsule idea of what you can do.
Okay. What any numbers you should watch out for?
You watch out for all the numbers.
What about 13? They're not in there, though,
no,
right?
No, well, it says those who understand 13 is given power and dominion. If you look at the history of the United States, it started off with 13 colonies, 13 stripes, 13 signs of the Declaration of Independence. In fact, it was signed at 1300 Locust Street in Philadelphia. The cornerstone to the White House was laid on October the 13th.
So the next time we see the number 13, we should think what?
You should think good luck as against bad luck.
Well, all right. Thank goodness for that. Yeah. We're going to be right back in a minute. And I understand that you have some predictions based upon numbers about some of our favorite celebrities. Will you share that with us?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that right when we come back. Now, if you're going to be in the New York area and would like free tickets to Rolonda, well, please call us at 212-650-2060. Weren't you?
No, I was pretty low-key, quiet.
All the energy coming over here. Could you tell what sign he is? What?
Well, he's got a lot of energy, but there's a lot of serious stuff inside those eyes.
Ooh, stand up, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, can you guess?
Are you Pisces now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow! How did you figure that out?
I'm not an astrologer for nothing.
Well, I guess that's true. But you could tell by his eyes?
You bet.
What does a Pisces eye look like?
Well, they look right
like
through
fish
you.
eyes, right?
They look right through you.
They're
very visionary. They know how to tell people what they want to hear, boy. They are the best con men in town.
A smoothie. This couple up here just met. Well, they didn't just meet. They've been dating for 2 years. Come on, stand up. What did you guys want to ask?
A lot of people have been pushing us to get married. We've been together for about 2 years now, but we have major cold feet. So we wanted to know if you could tell us if we'll have a good relationship or marriage if we decide to.
Well, we got to know the birthdays.
January 18th.
And?
August 8th.
August 8th? Well, I can understand why you have cold feet.
Why?
Well, because they're very different personalities in many ways. I mean, where she's very practical, steadfast, possessive, he needs to be free-spirited, hang loose, do his own thing.
Is that
so
true?
there has to be a little balance here.
That's true? Oh, you're their friend.
That's my sister.
That's your sister? Oh.
I mean, she's very stable, and he likes that. But if you learn how to just let him be his own person and give him the freedom, that could work better.
I like her.
He likes that.
Booker, the lady down here at the microphone has a question.
Yeah, my son, he's born February the 29th on leap year day. And I told him that's a good day, but he just don't like his birthday.
No, he's got,
So
he's
what
got
day
a great...
does he celebrate? Does he celebrate February 28th or March 1st?
I celebrated either or.
March 1st
If
would
the
be the better
Saturday
day.
is like, you know, I'm supposed to celebrate it March the 1st, I was told.
Right.
But I do it the 28th. But he just don't like because they get a birthday every 4 years. Yeah, he don't like his birthday.
Well, next year's a leap year, so he'll do it.
Yeah, he'll get it next year,
Yeah.
but he only gonna be 3 years old. Really, he'll be like 12, but he only got 3 birthdays so far.
Yeah, but he may not like it now, but he's the day of eternal youth. So when he gets to be 75,
He's gonna love
going to
it.
like it because he's going to be very young.
Okay, now I'm March 22nd.
Well, you better be careful not to stifle him. You can be kind of controlling, Mom. So
I
you
am.
got to be careful. See, you're a black or white personality. There's not a lot of gray. It is or it isn't. It's right or it's wrong. Where your little baby is going to have a lot of gray, not going to be real
Especially if he's
decisive.
born on leap year.
That's right.
You know?
He'll be not as decisive as you are. So sit back at times and let him form his own opinions and make his own decisions.
But she's born on the 22nd of March. That's the day of direct current. I mean, when she's plugged in, the juice really starts to flow.
That's good.
That's good.
There's nothing wrong with your energy as long as you don't dominate your
And
little
your birthday
boy.
also says you're more sensitive than you let on. And
Yeah,
easily wounded
that's
in
true.
your feelings. And
I
you go
agree.
through your periods of moodiness, too, so there are times when you don't want to be bothered with anybody.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. The lady behind her had a question. She said, look, lady, I'm next. The lady in the back, though, did have an interesting question. Let me squeeze in here. Excuse me, ladies. Talk about that extra planet you wanted to talk about. Stand up, stand up.
Well, I was born actually May 27th, 1970 in Kiev, in Russia, which I was told is actually Gemini with a Gemini rising, if I'm correct.
Okay.
And last year I heard that there was a discovery of a 13th planet, which means that there's a 13th house, which means I am neither Gemini.
Now, the discovery is of a 13th constellation,
That's
which
it.
is now
That's
viewed
it.
by
I heard
the
that
Earth.
all the signs
But
also get thrown
remember,
off.
remember, astrology deals with signs, not constellations. This was all fixed 2,000 years ago. It's a very theoretical system, and we're going to see more constellations. But if they're 14, 15, 16, there's still 12 signs.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
always
key.
gonna stay the
That's
same.
the key.
And we'll be right back right after this. And then we'll let you get back in. Come on, look at me. All right, girls. All right. I understand back here there's a row of girlfriends. I understand that it's girls' night out, huh?
Right.
Right. You left all those old boys at home.
Right.
There you go. Well, while they're gone, I hear you guys want to do some checking up on them. Who wants to ask about their boyfriend? Come on, one of you stand up. Come on.
Will I stay with him for a long time? Is a possible marriage foreseen or anything?
Well, we haven't done your chart, and
Okay.
I'm not a psychic, but what is his birthday?
December 13th,
And you?
January 6th.
Okay, it seems that the people attract to each other that are opposites. And in many ways, you are opposite, because he's very straightforward and does his own thing, and you have to have everything scheduled and perfect.
I'm glad you scheduled the Rolonda Show in your life.
So it's something that you really have to work on. When people are different, they have to really look at each other's traits and characteristics and work on each other so that that can happen.
Is there an easy combination? I mean, is there like a twosome that gets together that is just perfectly matched?
I think that there are great beginnings for a lot of people, and that's when you can be, you know, on the same wavelength, and you think alike, and you like to do the same things. But if you're really very different, and her boyfriend are quite different, they're not going to always like to do the same thing and be in the same way.
What about signs that lend themselves toward infidelity? Is there like a particular sign that you could say, well, you better watch him?
Yeah.
Who?
Geminis.
Geminis. How many Geminis in here? Well, look at you. That girl's got her mouth wide open. You didn't know you were a cheater, did you? I'll be back, ladies. You cheating lady, you. So these Geminis are cheaters, huh? Come on, cheater.
Did you say Geminis are wacky?
Yeah, y'all are a little wacky.
But, you're not a little schizophrenic.
You know what?
May 25th.
No, I would not call her the typical fickle Gemini, no.
Oh.
Her birthday indicates she's rather low-key, she's very discreet, extremely discriminating. She doesn't like everybody in her business, and so ironically, the Gemini side of her says that she can get along well with people, yet when she goes home and closes the door, you just can't stop by her house because the light is on.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But Gemini, is that for men and women?
I think that probably, I probably found with my clientele, it's mostly the men. They get bored real quickly. You got to keep them on their toes and keep a lot of variety. And that's why they keep moving on.
Are you a Gemini too? Okay. Aries.
Don't you find it strange that a woman can be unfaithful to one man but faithful to another? I don't think any one sign is faithful or unfaithful.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the combination of the two. I mean, to say that 1/12 of the human race is unfaithful seems to me a little unfair, particularly since I'm a Gemini myself.
That's right.
What do you say, young lady?
Hi. My birthday's January 4th, and my daughter's is April 18th. I'm interested in knowing about me as far as career-wise, and basically, my daughter and I, do we clash as far as attitudes and things like that?
You and your daughter is different as night and day.
Right, exactly.
Right, really are.
Yep.
Going to have to work real hard as a mother, but that's your responsibility to understand who you're raising. That's very important.
What about
that is? That goes whatever your sign is.
As far as your career is concerned, you should have gotten wind of that as early as last month, the month of October. Things are about to open up for you. The year that you've been about to leave, 95, indicates you've been in a holding pattern. There's been a period of uncertainty, either about relationships or where you've been living and especially where you've been working. But things are going to start to expand for you, and in fact, not only into next year, but the year after that, which is 1997 as well.
Hey, let's get a guy in the mix here.
I have a question. Everybody wants to find out good things that might happen to them. Will they be rich? Will they fall in love? What if there's a curse or something bad?
I think with curses, you know, a lot of times there's a saying. Gary and I were talking behind, you know, in the studio. We always reap what we sow eventually. If you sow good seeds, you will reap good seeds. If you sow bad seeds, trust me, they will come back.
They will come back. That's right. That's right. I want to ask you a question. I'll get you there. Absolutely.
Hi. I had the same exact question that she had, but the only thing is I want to know about my boyfriend.
And I hope he's not a Gemini.
No, he's an Aquarius.
Okay.
My birthday is November 21st. My daughter's is September 6th, and my boyfriend's is February 13th.
And what is your birthday again?
November 21st.
Okay, okay. Well, first of all, he is an Aquarius 4 person. He's born on the 13th. 1 + 3 is 4. 4 is ruled by Uranus, whose planetary sign is Aquarius. So that tells me that your boyfriend loves to be different. And in fact, with him, you have to use a lot of reverse psychology. If you want to go out, say, honey, why don't we stay home? You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
We'll be right back in a minute. You got it? There you go. Oh, you should have. signs are those over there? You had a question. You're Leo? Oh, Leo!
July 25th, 57. The question I have is, if you're born just before the cusp,
Yes.
what's the significance of that?
Well, the cusp usually is that you have influences from the sign before or after. It depends, and those influences are usually 3 days apart. So if being a July 25th, you are really a Leo. I mean, you are the most inwardly intense. You have a tremendous amount of, you want to be dominant over everything that you do.
Likes to be in the spotlight.
But you're very sensitive, and you're very caring and very protective, and you use your sense of humor to cover up your sensitivity, darling.
Yes, he does. He's been asking me to dance all show. You had a question. Go on.
Yeah, I would like to know just.
Get up to the mic. Get up to the mic so we can hear you.
I would like to know, just by looking at me, what can you tell me about me?
I like your hat.
Well, let me say this. I do not, and I don't think any of us here on the stage do guessing in terms of signs. At least I do not.
Oh, you just work by numbers? That's
but
it?
I tell you this, if you can give me your birthday, I can tell you quite a lot about you.
March 17th.
Okay. Your birthday, first of all, indicates you are a Pisces 8 person. You're born on the 17th day. 1 + 7 is 8. So it tells me not only do you have influence over older persons, but you have influence over younger persons as well. And it also tells me romantically, too. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't dated an older woman or two in your life, for that matter, too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, I guess the sign is yield now. Okay, what do you say?
I was supposed to be born October 1st, but I was born on August 31st. Does that have anything to do with anything?
No, not August 31st, October. You mean?
I was born on August 31st, but I was
you're
supposed to be born
September
October 1st.
September 1st. Oh, okay. Delivery date.
Yeah.
October 1st is the day of the top dog, and August 31st is the day of the public appearance, which you are making right now, okay? Do you think of yourself as a flamboyant, outgoing person?
Yes.
All right.
All of her friends say yes.
I would say you got born on the right day.
Yeah, probably.
You chose the right one.
Yeah,
you chose the right. Go on, your turn.
My birthday is July 1st.
Your birthday is July 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, you are an interesting paradox in the sense that the Cancer side of your nature indicates you would be mothering, nurturing, caring, sensitive, romantic, etc., etc. However, you're born on the same day as Lady Di, and by born on the 1st, that number 1 principle, as Gary will tell you, modifies your sign by adding to it strength, character, determination, and a desire to be your own boss. You don't like being told what to do, too.
Emancipation, that is the big thing you've got to go for in your life. Look at Lady Di. She came across as a wimp in the beginning, like knuckling under to the royal family. Not anymore. You got to take courage from that and do the same thing.
I think there's one thing that you have to learn about, though, with your sensitivity, is that you hide from your feelings. And in a relationship, it's going to be real important for you to learn to talk about what you really mean. And that's a real key.
Do you guys advocate going as far as to actually plan the day or the month that your child is born in?
If you have normal response to life, I think so. But if you can't, you just have to do well by what you give birth to.
You reap what you sow, in other words, right?
Reap what you sow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my boyfriend's birthday is November 21st, and mine is July 6th. And everyone has told us that the stars are against us, but
No,
is
it's
that
a classic.
true?
Two water signs. I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with it astrologically to start with.
And my attitude would be, what do you two think? I think that's bottom line.
What do we think?
Not what they think, and they're
But
not
like all
going to live
the
with you.
mating games, a little psychic thing you put your hand on says that
Well,
we're
no,
wrong.
let me say
That
this.
8 ball, I know it.
I would agree very much with Gary, and I think Sylvia here would also agree. Just the fact that you are a water sign and he is a water sign makes for a nice start for a compatible energy. He's born on the 21st. 2 + 1 is 3. You're born on the 6th. Well, 3, 6, and 9 in numerology are called the artistic chord. That tells me you two could be a very creative couple, great imagination, great fun to be with because he loves to talk. You love nice things. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. So that's the way you should listen to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have 2 ears, for stuff to come in and stuff to go out.
Yes,
so in other, you
that's
take
one
what's
of
the
them.
best that can work
That's
for
right.
you.
That's
What's your
right.
question?
I know a lot of people believe in astrology and everything, but if you really look at every single person, you could say everybody is independent and everybody is caring. And so really everything you say really can go for everybody that's in here.
Do you think everybody is caring?
I think maybe they may not show it, but I do think everybody is caring. They might not care about you, but it is something that they care about. So you can say, oh,
Okay, I
there's
can
something
agree
that you
with
care
that.
about. And they'll be like, oh, yeah. You know, so I think.
So you don't buy
your birthday?
Not that I don't buy it, but I think it can go for everybody. Thank you.
What's his birthday?
But what do you say, Gary,
What's
to the
his-
critics? Sure.
I want to know what the gentleman's birthday is.
When's your birthday?
Where's he coming from?
December
14th.
A Sagittarius.
You're born.
He knew it.
Also, you're a devil's advocate. You'll test away everybody's life.
He's married. His wife is sitting right next to him.
Well, who are you?
I'm their best friend.
You're their best friend.
Yeah.
She's the advocate for them over there. What do you have to say up there?
I was born July 5th, 77, and right now there's a lot of things going on with me with work, school. I just want to know, when would I ever feel stable?
How old are you?
18.
You got a long time. I know that number.
Well, let me say this. For you, I think you're more stable than you realize. You are going through a period that most of us as adults who went through the teenage stage goes through. You can't help it. You are growing. You're experiencing life. There are guys coming into your life now. Books are beginning to take a back seat versus a front seat. So I think you're stable, more stable than you realize. Cancers are very stable, especially in the young part. And you're very studious. You're extremely intelligent, too. So don't sleep yourself.
Yay, cancers! Yay! We'll be right back in a minute. Go on, shoot it out.
Yeah, my birthday is July 2nd, and I want to know if you could tell me what that has to do with, like, I'm having a lot of trouble choosing, like, a career goal in school and everything like that. Does that affect it, like, the problems I'm having?
I'm sorry, I just jumped, but let me say this. Twos are numbers that are sometimes indecisive, and that's not bad. They tend to need direction. For example, where a number one person knows exactly what they want. They don't need anybody. You would do better with partners in any area you do. If you do decide an occupation or career, you would do well in computers, electronics, engineering, science, physics, statistical things. You would do well going into the Navy if you decide to go into the service. But the trick to you and the clue to you is you've always been blessed to get along well with females. And so females will play a very strong role in your life. And therefore, you will probably wind up with a job where you work around a lot of women, or you'll have a female boss or supervisor.
Remember, your sign Cancer is ruled by the moon, and your number 2 is ruled by the moon.
That's exactly
right. So you're
right.
double moon, and it's very sensitive. You're going to record
So he's a lunatic.
Could you just tell me the name of my day?
Well, you're born in the week of, you're definitely born in the week of the empath, people who are very, very sensitive. But I think it's good to look at people who are born on your day, too. The name of your day is a little bit rough. It's called the Day of the Disconnected Unconscious. And sometimes these people, as sensitive as they are, can be out of touch with their dreams and their visions. And so you've really got to come in contact with that stuff. It'll be hard. I'm sure you have a lot of fantasies, a lot of dreams. Yeah. You got to go down in there. You got to find that monster that's down there. You got to grapple with it. You got to fight it, and you got to win. That's the important thing.
Okay, let's keep it moving quickly so we get more folks in.
My birthday is November 7th. I'd like to know if there are any predictions for me.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sylvia. Go ahead,
okay. I think ultimately when you say predictions, I think you're coming into a very good 1996. I wouldn't have said that 3 years ago. But ultimately now you're coming into a time where you're opening yourself up more. You know, you're a very private person. And you're very, very finicky about what you want in your life. So I think you have to know that you are a very sensitive person, and you would like to attract to a stronger person, someone who is more protective of you.
Is that person coming?
Well, we would have to do your chart to know if he was coming.
Next.
Me and this is my roommate. We just moved in together, and we were just wondering if we would get along.
That's a good one, though.
I'm February 24th, and
November 25th.
They're
Well,
water signs.
Well, no, she's
water
a
and fire.
Sagittarius.
Yeah, water and fire.
Yeah, it's water and fire. What does water do to fire?
Steam. Or it can cause steam.
Well, it depends if you want to fog up the apartment. But I think ultimately you have to be careful because she's easily intimidated. So don't be too directional. A little bit more gentle. Don't tell her what to do every half hour.
Does that sound a little like hitting home, so to speak?
Yes.
Yes. What are things they should watch out for, fire, water signs? Because one can put the other out.
Absolutely. She is more of a black or white personality, very directional. It's right or it's wrong. She's very indecisive in many ways. She has to plod along, think it out, let's figure it out. By the time she's thinking, she's done it. So it's going to be the kind of thing where they're going to have to balance, and you're going to have to back off a little bit because, let her do some stuff too so that she can feel that equal accomplishment.
Little ebb and flow there. Okay, go on.
We just got engaged on October 19th, and I was born.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
What did he say his birthday was, Gary?
You didn't say yet.
And I was born on the 27th of December, and she was born on September 13th. We were wondering, what that adds up to.
I think that's good. I think you're both earthy. You both need your feet on the ground. You both need a stable and safe environment. And I think that works well for you. I think that in the long run, as long as your wills don't lock, because you both are quite stubborn, and you have a tendency to like to do things your way. So there's a word called compromise, and there's another word called flexibility.
Yeah, it seems to be the same in all these couples.
Well, it's necessary because they are very stubborn, but they're alike in many ways. Okay. In many ways.
I have a question for you. Since you know about people's birthdays, do you have a tendency to ask people their birthdays and then treating them according to what you know?
Well, I think in the long run, with being at this for a very, very long time, with research, you begin to see the commonalities in personalities. And so after a while in my career, no matter what it's always been helpful to know who I'm talking to. And this way I'm not going to insult their intelligence, and I'm going to know how to deal with them. Yes.
Would you suggest that, like, if you're going into a business meeting, kind of getting an idea of what your potential boss's sign might be to tell how you might work?
I do that all the time. I do that for many, many corporations.
That doesn't make you judgmental, though.
I think it makes you insightful.
I'll tell you
I don't think judgmental.
Something that might be good for business meetings. I've been doing a lot of seminars recently. The season in which you're born, which we haven't talked about at all. Springtime people are starter-uppers. They like to get things going. Summertime people like to see the fruit of what they're doing. Leos, they got to see results. Virgos, they got to see results. People born in the fall are maintenance people. They're very good at keeping it going. And people born in the winter are like reorganizing, rethinking, so they can start those starters out all over again when the year starts.
So your top team ought to be somebody from each season.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back on that. Not much. And we've got a master numerologist coming up right after this. Lloyd Strayhorn is going to join us, and so get those calculators out. Let's start adding up our lives. We'll be right back in a minute.
shortest day of the year, December 21st.
The
Really
shortest
important.
day of the year is in the month of December.
December 21st, the shortest day of the year, the deepest, darkest day of the year. Very important power point.
So
the
what
winter solstice.
no matter what your sign is?
No matter what your sign, it's time to go inside. It's time to hibernate, time to get in touch with yourself.
You know, I think that's the truth no matter whether we're talking about astrology, numerology, or just our plain old lives. There comes a time we have to slow down and just think a little bit about who we are.
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of people are going to be doing it next year because 1996 adds to 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is the period of reflection. And it also governs Cancers and Pisces. So those under those signs are going to be the end signs for next year.
Let's hope so. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Rolonda. Bye-bye.